The Cloudchasers. Meutic agent. In a world where the sky was an endless azure canvas and the sea was a restless jade spirit, Jim, John and Jane set sail on their brave little skiff, the Cloudchaser. It was a vessel born of dreams and stubborn wood, its hull painted in defiance of the mundane, though the paint had begun to crack along the waterline, and its sails a vibrant promise against the white billows of clouds that seemed to gather thicker with each passing hour. Jim, in his crisp sailor suit, stood at the prow, his young face set with the stern gravity of a seasoned captain, though his knuckles were white against the rail as the wind grew sharper. John, in his deep blue coat and cap, held the rudder with a quiet confidence that belied his age, even as he cast occasional glances at the darkening horizon. And Jane, with her fiery red hat and determined grip on the oars, was the very heart of their momentum, rowing with an urgency that matched the restless whisper of waves that seemed to murmur warnings in an ancient tongue. The wind sang a wild song through the rigging, and the waves beneath them were like playful dragons, but their eyes were fixed on a horizon no one else could see. A horizon that held the legendary Isles of Whispers, a place where, it was said, one's greatest desires were made manifest. "When we reach the Isles," Jim declared, his voice cutting through the wind like a newly unfurled flag, "I will build a city made of glass. Every street will be a river of light, and every building a window to the stars. The sky will be its ceiling, and the sea its floor. I will be its architect and its keeper, and my city will shine so bright that even the moon will come to visit." John, his gaze steady on the far-off clouds, smiled to himself. "When we reach the Isles," he announced, "I will become a master of the sea and the sky. I will tame the winds and learn the secret language of the currents. My maps will be painted with the songs of the whales and the paths of the constellations. I will sail to the edge of the world and find the sun's lost embers, and my adventures will be remembered forever." Jane, her breath a plume of white in the salt-filled air, pulled on her oars with renewed strength. Her expression was one of fierce, joyful ambition. "When we reach the Isles," she proclaimed, her voice a vibrant melody against the roar of the sea, "I will create a grand carnival. It will have 1,000 acrobats who leap from cloud to cloud, and magicians who pull rainbows from their sleeves. The music will be made of laughter, and the games will be of wit and wonder. I will be its ringmaster, and all who come will find the courage to live their own impossible dreams." And so they sailed on, 3 small figures on a bold vessel, their ambitions not just promises for a faraway land, but the very wind in their sails, carrying them toward a destination as fanciful and limitless as their own imaginations. 1 year later, under a star-heavy sky, 3 sets of parents gathered in the lighthouse keeper's cottage, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of candlelight. The Cloudchaser had been found that autumn morning, empty and broken against the jagged rocks of Devil's Point, her vibrant sails torn to ribbons, and her painted hull split like a broken promise. The search had lasted months, but the sea had kept its silence. Tonight, as they had done every week since that terrible discovery, the parents took turns reading from the leather-bound diary they had found tucked safely in a waterproof pouch beneath the skiff's bow. Jane's careful handwriting chronicled their final adventure, the sudden storm that rose like a wall of fury, the way Jim had tried to steer them to safety even as the mast cracked, how John had sung sea shanties to keep their spirits up as the waves grew mountainous, and how she herself had written these last words by lamplight as water began to seep through the hull. "We saw the isles," her final entry read, "shimmering just beyond the storm. They were more beautiful than we ever imagined, and I think we're going to reach them after all." The parents closed the diary as the candles flickered low, and in the hush of that midnight vigil, they could almost hear it, the distant sound of children's laughter carried on the wind, and the faint, impossible music of a carnival that played somewhere beyond the horizon, where dreams and the sea become one.